addressing the symptoms, is not addressing the real cause. So hopefully Will Smith will get to his senses and actually identify the real problem. But right now, he's apologizing to the world. The world has figured out what the problem is, but Will Smith is sitting here and saying, you know what, she's not the problem. What's good, LOBS family? It's another day, another reaction, and today we're going to do a reaction to Will Smith's apology. I think this came after the slap, where he actually walked up to the stage and slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. So let's just have a recap of that clip.
Who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada?
That's the lady from Black Panther, and the dude sitting at the back there is, if you can just look over the lady's left shoulder, that is Aquaman. So we got Aquaman and the lady from Black Panther. Okay.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Look at that face. Jada didn't like that at all. So let's see. We all know what's about to happen, but we're just going back to this clip so that we can actually get to the apology, okay?
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here.
Chris Rock saw her face. Chris Rock saw Jada's face and she didn't like it. And she's sitting slightly behind Will Smith. So Will didn't see it at all, but Chris is in full view of this whole dilemma that's about to take place now.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Okay.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
That's uncomfortable. But anyway, that is basically the okay, so this is basically just going to be Will Smith answering some questions based on what the public and his fans want to know. Sorry, excuse me.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to.
Okay, just by him making that statement says that, you know what, there's nothing that he can change. You know, there's nothing that he can change about what he felt that moment. At the end of the day, you know, you have to look at the perspective of what was the entirety of the situation. And, you know, Jada was looking at him, he was looking at Jada, he didn't like what he was seeing from his wife and the energy that was given. So Will Smith would rather open him up to conflict on stage in public than to having to face that same conflict at home. That is basically the whole point that I got from this, why he did what he did. Okay, so him trying to justify that, and hopefully it will address the Jada situation in here. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Let's do this.
Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable.
Yep.
I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment.
There is nothing that he could have done. He was locked in a situation where it's either he has to sacrifice his dignity or not being respected at home. And we all know this. The biggest mistake that Will Smith could have done was to open his private life up to the public. And through that, opening his private life up to the public, Will Smith has become a successful failure. So what do I mean by that is, in the eyes of the public, he's a success because he is a talented actor. He is a talented rap artist. He's a performer. He's an entertainer. You know what I mean? And this guy has gone beyond where normal people in terms of entertainment has taken them. He's gone beyond that. And to see him in this vulnerable state, it breaks me down because, we now have to reflect on ourselves, right? We are we in our personal capacity. And there's a lot of men that has it hard out there. We either have to work difficult jobs, get things done, and come home to a nagging wife or to a wife that disrespects them. And this is what is happening. And this is what we're seeing portraying that. And another example of that was the Amber Heard trial with Johnny Depp, right? But anyway, I don't want to go into that. I'm just saying that what the core problem is, Jada. And he needs to address that. And there's nothing that he can say or do now that can pull the slap back. He can apologize to those family. The fact is that it was more of a revelation upon him, or reflection on himself as Will Smith. Because Chris Rock handled it perfectly. And therefore, I will commend Chris Rock. And, I just think the overall approach by Will Smith should have been done better. But anyway, let's go on.
And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment.
Okay.
There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something?
Okay. This is the question I want to hear the answer to.
No.
Oh,
It's
let us hear
eyes,
that.
did she, or insults? After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris.
He's trying to smile about it, but I can see his tears. I can see your tears, Will. I can see your tears, my man. So she don't have to say, your woman don't have to say. Will Smith and Jada has been with each other for so long already. And obviously there's many battles that he's fighting with her. But I've never seen where he actually disrespects his kids and Jada in public. He would never do that. But they do that to him. They have utter disrespect for him. Husband, love your wives. Wives, respect your husband. Anyway, so she didn't have to tell him anything. The signs of her body language was enough. The energy that was coming off of her aura at the time, that was enough for him to know what she's saying. And you know what I'm talking about. If you've been in that situation where your partner's just giving you the look and you have to do something, you have to do something. Because like I said, he would rather avoid the conflict at home than to address it with the media and with the public. He would rather address it with the media and the public. But at home, he does not have the same value. You must understand that Will Smith does not carry the same value at home with his family. There's complete disrespect. They're walking over him. In public with his fans and on TV and when he's doing his acting, when he's entertaining, he's in his element. That is where he shines, because indirectly it gives him a break from his family, and he shines when he's not with them. But every time he's around them, he feels the need that he needs to protect, and that is actually a letdown, and it's narcissistic. It's a narcissistic environment at home. You're having to leave whatever you have to do, what you love and so passionate about, and have to go home to this disrespect. And you know what? He will do it again. Just to think about it, Will Smith will do this again. He will actually go on stage again and slap somebody in the face because he needs constant approval. This is insecurity speaking. He needs a constant approval of his wife and his narcissistic wife to do what he needs to do. He needs to do what he needs to do. Okay?
Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family.
And yet again, he's protecting her. What got him in this mess was the fact that he thought that he was protecting his wife. He acted on an impulse of, of that unspoken feeling, that look. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. And yet again, he's protecting that. So it's so sad. So what this is doing is avoiding the core problem. So he's going to address the symptoms that puts him in the limelight again, in terms of he's going to be under scrutiny now. He's apologizing. And he's not naming or shaming. And we don't want that, right? But he needs to get to a point where he says, you know what? I need to walk away. I need to walk away from this for my own health, for my own good, and actually be free. Because right now, his every move is determined on how she controls it at the end of the day. That is actually what it appears to be, that she's controlling. And she has more say over his own life than him. And he obviously wants to fix, he wants to provide, he wants to be the mentor in her own life for her problems. And he wants to protect his wife. And through that, he's actually getting the bitter end. So no good deed goes unpunished. And unfortunately for Will Smith, a man of the stature is not leading by example at the moment, because he's addressing the symptoms and not the problem. The real cause, he's addressing the symptoms, he's not addressing the real cause. So hopefully Will Smith will get to his senses and actually identify the real problem. But right now, he's apologizing to the world. The world has figured out what the problem is, but Will Smith is sitting here and saying, you know what? She's not the problem. She's not. Yes, we are a product of our decisions, but she is also your decision right now. And your decision is to protect this woman. And I can see it.
For the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me. And it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished.
I just want to see something quickly. Just bear with me.
My family, for my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and
You know, in those apologies, just look at his stance, the way he's sitting, he's closing himself up. Psychologically, he's trying to prevent it because he knows that there's people that scrutinize body language. And I'm not an expert, but I work with a lot of people on a daily basis. He's closing himself up. But just take a note, once he switches to his fans, that he opens his body opens up, his palms open palms, and he's making more suggestions. Just watch this.
My family, for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees,
See now.
you know, this is a community.
You see?
It's like
Opens
I
up.
won
You
because
see?
you voted for
That
me.
passion.
It really breaks my
You see?
heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment.
It's like when he needs to speak of his family, of his wife specifically, he thinks about what he has to say. But to my fans, I just want to go. And he got all this energy all of a sudden when he speaks of his fans. This is psychology 101.
Your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. You know, it happened on Questlove's award, and you know, it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient.
He's being more genuine to his fans. I'm being honest with you guys right now. Right now, this apology is more genuine to his fans. This is really a tribute to his fans. And he's not here to address the core issue. He just wants to let his fans know, you know what, guys, I am truly sorry for what I've done. I'm supposed to lead by example. I messed up. I should have approached this better. But addressing that underlying issue, that is where he fails.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma.
Yeah.
I hate when I let people down.
Yeah.
So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human. And
Right now, Will Smith is trying to find the words to apologize for a moment in time. A moment that he said himself, it was all fuzzy, you know, his mind was clouded. He's actually trying to apologize for a moment in time when he was drunk. That is basically it. So all the actions that he's done during when he was drunk, you can apologize out. So now he's sober about it. So now he's got to think about it. So all that he can say, you know what, I apologize for that action. It's not going to happen again. It is what it is, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, if I could use the drunk analogy, he's an alcoholic. At the end of the day, he is a victim to a narcissistic person. And he's not addressing that issue, okay? So he tries to avoid conflict now. So both sides is trying to avoid conflict by protecting Jada Pinkett Smith and by trying to address this with his fan base. And he's trying to avoid conflict, and that is in his nature. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is actually to his detriment. This is not in favor of Will Smith. So for him to avoid conflict during this stage in his life now, he needs to take it up. He needs to take up a battle somewhere else, and that is not to avoid it completely. He needs to take up a battle. In this case, he needs to be the alpha male. He needs to go and approach his wife and do this, you know, and rather use this red table talks with him and Jada and use that and address certain issues, you know, head on without having to worry about consequences or conflict with her. He needs to address it with her. She needs to know her place. You know, you can cancel me for all you want, but at the end of the day, look how it's breaking this guy down. He's trying to exalt her as the queen of his life, but at the end of the day, he's getting the bitter end of the stick. He's getting the bitter end of it all. Look how this guy is broken down. And this is the message that is sent to society, to our boys in society. And we're saying, you know what, no matter how hard life kicks you, you just have to grow some balls and be a man. And unfortunately, this is abuse. It's a form of abuse. And it's sad to see this guy at this point, you know. He's trying to be matured about it. He's trying to be all grown up about it and, you know, go about his ways, apologize. It is the right thing that he thinks he's doing, being sober-minded right now. But I can assure you, if he is in that position again with Jada, he will do exactly the same thing, because he's gonna try at that point to avoid that conflict. So that is the difference.
I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
I think that's the end of this apology. And guys, you heard my thoughts about this. And at the end of the day, we just want to reach a point where there's progress, where there's improvement. You know, Will Smith, you have to do whatever you need to do, my friend. You have to do whatever you need to do. Get therapy, but address the real problem. You have to address the real problem. At the end of the day, we all see it from the outside. You are married to a narcissist, and therefore, peace out.